So, welcome to episode.
Oh!
Welcome to episode 10 of the Macbeef-Banquet AfterShow.
Did I scare you?
My name's Miles, and this is my friend Henry.
Hi. I'm
Today,
sorry I made you wet your pants.
yeah. Today we're gonna be doing real talk. You know, we've done it before. Last episode was episode 3. And this week we're doing it again because we both like doing it. It's good to have a real conversation and just talk with each other. No jokes, you know. You're shaking your head, and I'm a little worried. What's up, man?
It's not what you wanted, Miles.
It is what I want to do, actually.
Okay. What are we talking about?
Well,
we should probably have decided that, huh?
Yeah, probably. But we rewrote some stuff down last time, so let's see. You want me to read them off again, or do we not like to do that?
Sure.
Okay. At the top, we got religion, we got race, gender, mental illness, comedy, music, morality, and that's it. That's all we have.
Okay.
Anything jump out at you?
I mean, morality a little bit.
Okay, because I think that you added that to the list and
that and mental illness.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we could talk on those.
Yeah, those are kind of cool.
Yeah, cool. They're really awesome.
Yeah, man. They're great things. Both of them. I'm so glad they exist.
Okay. So I guess I'll start off by asking, if you don't mind me asking, what are your experiences with mental illness?
I'm a narcissist, if that counts.
Doesn't?
No. Okay. I'm just kidding. Is it? No, I don't think it is. It might be like a personality thing. But
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually mental illness. I haven't really had any, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it is an interesting topic to talk about because it's like, it's important to look at. I feel like, even something as simple as like, I guess even depression could count, right?
Yeah. Yes, it can count.
Granted, I haven't been depressed, but I've known people who have been, and I think it's really important to know like about it. I think it's easy to say that I mean, I feel like this is an older way of thinking, but like I feel like it can still happen where people just kind of not really acknowledge depression as an actual thing.
No, that does still happen. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's important to recognize that these things can exist, especially with regards to like how much of an issue like mass shootings are. I feel like where it, I don't think people look enough at mental illness as a part of that, especially considering like school shootings, and it's like each case is different, but I feel like there are still a lot of cases where like the kid has either been ostracized or they have had some sort of issue in their upbringing, and like I think it's important to look at that, and I don't know how to go about. So you look at everyone, I guess, like on a massive scale, but like I don't know. It's just I think it's important to like I guess let as many people know about it as you can to like help watch out for warning signs of things like that. Educating yourself I think is very important on that subject, but I don't know. I mean, we can go on that for a while, but I guess what have your experiences been?
So I have not been diagnosed with anything. I mean, yeah, no. I'll say no. I mean, I've talked to therapists before. None of them have ever like officially diagnosed me with anything, but for me, from my point of view, because I have been told by therapists before that I can be pretty self-aware, so I'm like kind of aware of how I'm feeling, and and I've noticed before that I have feelings like bouts or waves, as I describe it as like waves of depression, where it won't always, because for people with like like full on depression. You're like that almost all the time, and it's hard for you to get out of bed, that kind of stuff. For me, it's
Mm-hmm.
like waves where it won't be like on a weekly scale. It'd be totally random, but like some days I will just feel the worst, and I like just like don't want to do anything, and it sucks. Um, and I also think I have like low level anxiety.
Okay.
Like not enough that it's like debilitating or anything, but I do get anxious sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think both of those things could be tied in with, again, not diagnosed, but I do believe that I have some level of OCD.
Okay.
And I want to get diagnosed, just so I don't have to keep saying I'm not diagnosed.
Right.
Like I want it to be official that I know that I have it, because I seriously think I do. And it's been hard because I've actually like been trying to cope with that thought that that I might have it, because I've noticed a lot recently of the stuff that I do that it makes sense if I do have it. And I mean, my like I won't go into too much detail, but like most of my family has had mental illness. So like
Okay.
my mother's side, a lot of my family members have some mental illness. So I do have a lot of experience with dealing with it, and in terms of other
Yeah.
people, and yeah. So it's fun, man. I love mental illness. It's great.
Is it like?
No,
Man, what did you say? No. Just say no.
no, no. It's not great.
Is, now, does that like I don't know? Do you think that would have to do with just biological factors in your family, or do you think part of that could be like upbringing and behavior too?
I mean I think a lot of it is due to nature, but I do believe that it does have to do with nurture as well, because it's biological as well as physical, or not physical, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I don't know if it's not every single one is passed down, but things like depression are more commonly passed down, I believe. Don't quote me on
Okay.
that. But I think a lot of my family have at least depression. So,
Okay.
and then everyone kind of has a little bit of other things.
Other things sort of sprinkled throughout.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's I guess. How do you? I don't know. You already kind of talked about it, but like, I mean, how do you cope with it? I guess with what you have. I guess if anything.
Yeah.
And you don't have to.
For
talk about
me,
it if you
it's
don't
a
want,
lot of no. It's fine. I'm trying to be open about it, and that I think it's healthy to be open about it, to recognize your issues and to not be afraid of them almost. Because I'll be honest. Last Saturday, I talked to you about something. I don't want to talk about it specifically, but I talked to you something that occurred, and I kind of spiraled that day. Like pretty much at the end of the day, I wanted to kill myself. And thankfully, Connor helped me out of that. But so it's a lot of, for me personally, it's a lot of like talking with friends and family, and like literally like the next day I talked with the person who was causing the issue, and it was fixed. So
that's good.
For me, it's confronting things and dealing with things. That's may not for me it's the healthiest thing, I think. And thankfully I have some level of support around me that prevents certain things from happening.
Yeah, I'd say that's good. I'm glad that you didn't do anything.
Yeah, of course.
And yeah, glad to say we can solve this conversation. It's right, like it's a heavy subject, but
yeah, no, it's
yeah, it's like, and yeah, the next day I'm glad you guys worked things out, because I know who you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. It's not Connor, by the way. Connor was not the issue.
Connor. Yeah,
I wanted to make that clear.
It's not. It's actually Eli.
Yeah, Eli. He threatened me. Finally, we finally confronted each other about it.
Yep. That sick fuck. We yeah. It's like, I don't know. I mean, part of me feels like I don't. I haven't. I definitely haven't been diagnosed with anything. If I did have anything, I'd have to guess it would probably be anxiety a little bit. 'Cause, I mean, I do get socially anxious sometimes.
Yeah.
Depression, not really so much. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or at least nothing enough to where, like, I recognize it as more than just being a little down on the dumps that day, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's nothing like I feel like is that regular or anything I feel like I need to watch out for necessarily. Which I feel like I'm pretty lucky on. Because, you know, as you just described and I've heard other people describe it, it can be kind of tough sometimes. So I'm kind of lucky in that respect. So I guess I probably can't really talk too much.
No, it's fine. No,
I feel like
that's
otherwise
okay.
I'm just kind of like getting on a soapbox and talking about something I don't know, talking out my ass. You know what I mean?
No, you're not. I would say that you are a good way of seeing others, because you know you don't really have a lot, but you can see it in others, and how it affects your life, because that's important too. Because we both know people who have mental illness, and I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna name names, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I appreciate you saying that. And it's like I have had a couple friends that have been in like really serious places, and I remember calling them multiple times because it's like it can be stressful.
Yeah, it's important because you care about them. I mean,
because in a way, even though I don't feel like I really have depression, like they're kind of they were close friends, so they're part of my sort of unit, you know, I guess, or like almost my support group, if you will, except you know, without really needing, I guess, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Although I feel like everyone needs some sort of support group for, you know, because it's good to have friends you care about and can be close to. So yeah, and on those two separate occasions, I definitely was thinking about them and wanting to make sure they were okay, because they were at that point of, you know, considering, you know, killing themselves, and I'm glad that they didn't.
Yeah,
because I mean, it's just, yeah, it's heartbreaking when that happens, you know. It was like watching the movie this week that we watched for the Macbeef-Banquet pod. We watched you know, when we watched The Devil All the Time, and it's like she thinks she's making a mistake and then accidentally kills herself, and it's just like it's a tragedy, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's difficult. Sometimes I remember back in high school thinking like, damn it, depression, stop fucking with my friends, damn it, I'll kick your ass. It's like I just have a personal battle with depression. Not because of myself, but because of my friends.
Yeah. And I want to say, you know, seeing a therapist, I think we've talked about it before, that seeing a therapist, I think, is like important, and I think that everyone should see a therapist. Yeah. And even if you can't afford to see a therapist right now, talk to someone. It's really important.
Absolutely. And I remember us talking about that, and I really
I think we talked about it for that one anime movie. I forgot the name.
Tokyo Godfathers?
No. The love story, the romantic one that was like she wanted to kill herself. She was deaf.
Oh yeah, I love that movie. I
literally forgot the name.
Silent Voice.
Silent Voice, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Great movie. I need to watch that again.
Yeah, we talked about it for that,
but we talk about it on this podcast. We're reviewing it for the second time. Where were we going with this?
I think you were gonna say something.
I was gonna say something. I don't remember what it was.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's all right.
You're talking about therapists. At least I
was.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
We were.
Go ahead.
No, but yeah, because we talked about that, and I did like that. what you mentioned about you think like almost everyone, if not everyone, should see a therapist.
Yeah.
I think that's. I mean, I haven't yet, but I would like to at some point. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
Just to help organize your thoughts a little bit, and gain new perspectives.
Exactly. Yeah. That's like, why
even just talking to like friends or family, or even to complete strangers, and it's like, even that can help you gain different perspectives, but like especially with like a professional like that, like therapist, that would be I feel like really really helpful.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I've seen, over my years, I've seen quite a few different ones. And I've never like really stuck with one. And I think once we move down there, I think I want to start seeing one at some point. Once I get I think I'm gonna get insurance through my work.
Okay. Yeah. That's
so
cool.
I'm probably gonna try and see a therapist and get diagnosed with everything that I need to get diagnosed with.
That's yeah.
And I think like it's different for everyone, but for me, like medicine, it was like something that I thought about. I think like when I was first, I don't think I was officially diagnosed, but I think they had given me medicine to deal with depression, or were going to. And my idea back then was that I didn't want something to make me feel happy. I wanted to feel happy on my own.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's like necessarily true now. Like I don't think it's just, oh, it's a magic pill that makes you happy. I think it's I don't know. I think that medicine can help in certain cases, and I think that my point of view may have changed now, but I don't know. So
Well, I mean, that's kind of interesting because I mean, I can see where you were coming from, thinking about I want to be happy on my own.
Yeah.
Like, thinking that, because like, I don't know. This is kind of branching into just illness in general at this point. But like my dad, my dad would always like, I don't know, like he raised me with a very, I don't know, what's the word, like.
Racist.
I mean, I guess it's kind of just a strong-willed mindset of just like. Sorry. Like he would. What did you say?
I said racist.
Well, we can talk about that later.
Sorry.
No, I'm kidding. He's not racist. I promise.
I'm kidding. Strong will, you were saying?
Yeah. Well, he would tell us, like whenever we'd feel like sick, to just think happy thoughts, and like you'll feel better, and like I mean actually, and it wasn't probably just that, but like there's probably, I would imagine, some sort of biological factors too, but like we did really get sick, and like I don't know, I think there is something to be said about that mindset of just not being like, I guess, a victim, because there are I feel like a lot of people now, especially nowadays, that want to just be like, or feel like they are victims and like rely too much, I guess, on quote unquote like medicine, but like, and like some of it's like, people actually need medicine because I mean it's helped us become, be able to live longer and everything, but like I don't know, I've always kind of just had like a I guess kind of conservative mindset in that respect, where like I kind of have felt, I guess, similar like what you said, where like I want to feel better on my own, kind of thing. And granted, again, that was more like physically than like mentally.
Yeah.
But I can kind of see where you're coming from on that point. But like that, like I just mentioned, there's another side to that too, where medicine can help, depending on what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, science is always improving and advancing, so it's like they're trying to find ways to study the brain. I was working on a project for a science class actually, and it was it's talking about neurocinematics, which is like studying like the brain while you're watching movies, which I think is kind of cool, and I actually want to look at that a little bit more, because it's like you can study how the brain works in regards to like your thoughts and behavior and emotions. And especially like when you're taking on an emotional journey in a movie, and like they can study like the brain waves and everything. I think that's kind of interesting, because like the brain is so complex, and such little things can impact your personality. I've heard talk about how mental disorders can be like like chemical imbalances in the brain, sort of thing like that. There's so many little factors that can be at work. So I think it is interesting to see what happens over time with how we study the brain and how it works, you know? And I hope that we can get more precise on exactly what medicine works best to help with that. And yeah, I just hope it helps over the long term, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Something, I don't know. I don't know if you wanted to say more, but I wanted to say, like, I don't even know how to get into it, but I don't know. This is I guess a little bit related, but whenever someone says, you know, good morning or whatever, like, how are you? And I just always say good, I'm like almost always lying, which sucks.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean, just saying good, you know, of course I'm not like just good, or, you know, there's a whole range of things I'm feeling. I'm not, you know, just good. I don't know if you get what I'm saying, like,
yeah, no,
I'm typically, you know, not good. I'm not bad either, is what I'm saying. You know, it's I feel bad for lying, but then it's also like, you know, do I want to unload all my issues on you this morning, you know?
Yeah. It's like, it'd be so funny if, like, Connor or like one of us is over and we're just like asking, hey Miles, how's it going? And you're just like, you know what? You just fucking like flip the table over. You're just like, it's absolute shit. No, I don't know. No, like, I was gonna ask though, like, if that was just because you didn't want to like burden other people with that, or if like you think you can't explain it, or, you know,
I would say like
what they might think, you know.
Those maybe not the last one, but at least the first two, I think I feel that. And it's also like, you know, when I'm at work or when I'm with other people, I will tend to hide a lot of what I'm feeling. Well,
Okay.
on my face, usually. It's just kind of, I don't know. It seems to me like I smile when I'm with you, so that's a good thing. But, like, usually my face is just kind of blank, and I'm just kind of, you know, not showing any emotion. And, you know, when I used to work at Big Lots, I would have to smile all the time. Or, not smile, but at least fake something. I don't know. I think I did a fake a lot, because, you know, when I was cashiering, I'd have to pretend to be happy and greet the customers. And people say that, like, if you smile, you'll feel better. It doesn't always work.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you can smile, but that doesn't change what you're feeling inside.
Right.
And it's hard.
Yeah, I get that. And it's like, you know, yeah, it's like, if someone were to just be like, you know, oh, you have depression, just be happy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
You can't just like do that. You know,
it's not a switch.
You can flip on and off.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you made progress with your depression at all? Like, you've like learned how to better manage it, maybe, or is it kind of just still the same?
Definitely, I've definitely made some progress. Because a lot of So the reason I'll start off with this. The reason I got the semicolon was because I tried to commit suicide before, and that was a lot of when I was younger, like 10 or 12. So obviously that's not like I don't know, like most people it's in like their teens or 20s, but for me it was like when I was, you know, like a lot younger. And I haven't had as many cases of that. I can only think of one, literally like last Saturday, and I didn't like grab anything. So, and in those previous instances, I had grabbed stuff and was about to do it. But I always, you know, I didn't really have friends, I think, back then that I could talk to about it. Because, I mean, what 10 or 12-year-old wants to hear about, you know, oh man, I'm going to kill myself. But yes, back to the question. Yes, I think I have gotten better at managing, especially with depression and suicide. it's easier for me to talk about too, because like back then I don't think I could have really talked about it.
Yeah.
Because it was hard. I definitely remember not wanting to talk about suicide, but now it's, I got it literally tattooed on my skin. So if having tattoos can kind of feel more powerful, it kind of gives you, not powerful, but it gives you, I think a little bit of strength. So that's another reason why I like getting tattoos, because,
Sure.
it's literally on my skin, which means, it's a part of me now.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's kind of a good reminder. I feel like, just a permanent
Mm-hmm.
reminder of what you've been through and sort of some of your experiences.
Yeah, it's good.
That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, I gotta say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, I guess. Let's talk about anxiety for a second.
Okay.
Because I can probably relate to that one a little bit more personally.
And in a second, I'm gonna go ask Connor if she wants to talk at all, because she has some experience. But go ahead. Yeah, anxiety.
Yeah, for sure. Well, anxiety is one I feel like I have felt a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those where, like, I don't know. I've always felt like I can do something about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least with anxiety. Again, I haven't experienced depression, so I wouldn't know what that would be like. But like
an anxiety attack.
At least, I feel like I can train my brain or my habits or mannerisms to sort of, work with that. I feel like, where like, because like most of it's social anxiety. I don't think I really have any other anxieties. That's kind of the main one. And just sort of how I'm perceived by other people. I do value a lot what other people think of me, especially, being in the movie industry too, because it's like a lot of it is about connections with people. And so I do find myself thinking about that a lot. And so I have to think about, well, not have to, but I do think about like a lot, like what people will think if I say this or that, you know what I mean? So it's like, part of me is like, it feels like I can train myself to just do anything, so like, and that includes sort of not being anxious all the time, I guess, if that makes any sense. So like, I don't know, I always have had that mindset of just feeling like I can change if I need to and want to. And I mean, I will say, like, I'm not as anxious as I was before. I definitely still experience it, but I'm not as afraid to try stuff. I have been pushing, especially recently, I've been trying to push myself out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
And expand to new things, try new things, be uncomfortable, and be okay with being uncomfortable. And I guess I still would want to work on that a little socially, but I feel like for me, it personally has gotten a little bit better. And I was just curious to hear kind of your experience with anxiety specifically.
Yeah. I was gonna ask, you don't get like anxiety attacks or panic attacks or anything like that, do you?
No, nothing that crazy.
Okay.
Or, well, not crazy, but you know what I mean. Like, nothing that serious.
Yeah. And as I said, I think with specifically anxiety, I think it has something to do in connection with my possible OCD. And I think it's like, I do sometimes, it's pretty rare when I get them, but I will sometimes like really anxious, like, when something's not, for me, it's like a lot of like frustration and, when things aren't going my way. It sounds very childish, but what I mean is like, I want things to go a certain way. Like, for example, I want my day to do, this, and this. And then when other people are like, hey, we're going to do this, and, that's gone. And then we're going to also do this, and that's gone.
Doesn't
and
quite meet
and
your
I start getting
expectations.
anxious and angry, and
Yeah.
it can be hard to deal with because I don't want to feel mad at people, but then it's like, well, they're the reason that's happening, and, now I'm mad at them, and it sucks.
Yeah.
And again, this is just me talking, and I don't know how much of this is due to anxiety or how much of this is due to OCD if I have it, so.
I definitely think they could definitely be connected. And I mean, that makes sense. Because like when something doesn't go exactly like the way you want it to, it can be stressful. Especially if you're planning out a day exactly to be, something like the way you want it to be. I get that way when we're talking about filmmaking, you know, a little bit, where, I mean, it almost never goes the way you want it to.
Yeah.
And so having to deal with that can be annoying and tough.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I feel kind of lucky in this aspect because, like, I feel like I'm able to manage that pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like if I do, you know, my anxiety is kind of mild. But it does still happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can kind of understand the OCD kind of, you know, not everything going exactly as it should.
Mm-hmm.
And that is interesting because, like, yeah, you can't really plan for everything, you know, and sometimes things just happen. So, and yeah, it just kind of sucks because you just gotta deal with it. And you're like, all right, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
okay.
no, yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah.
To hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
like that versus, you know, dealing with depression too.
Mm-hmm. And I think anxiety has been more of like a recent issue. I'm sure it's possible that I've had it and just never put a name to it, but I think it is something that I've been dealing with.
Sure.
And just never really connected the name to the thing. But
gotcha.
Yeah. Let me go ask Connor. I want to see if she's willing to talk. If she isn't, we'll move on or whatever. But
yeah, we can talk about our next thing.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
This episode of the Macbeef-Banquet that's not this podcast. This week's episode of the Macbeef-Banquet AfterShow is brought to you by Triangle Space. Triangle Space. We're pointier than a square. Oh my goodness. This episode is also brought to you by Baskin Bobbins, like Baskin Robbins, but not Baskin Robbins. This episode is also brought to you by Eli. He's an asshole. What the fuck did I just say? Welcome back, Miles.
Thank you. She was
doing our daily advertisement.
Okay, good. She was not willing, but
all right, no worries.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think I don't know if there's. I don't think there's anything else that is in particular with this topic.
We can move on.
Okay.
To morality a little bit.
And we'll probably come back to mental illness because it's always a prevalent issue with me.
It is, and I mean, you know, we're constantly changing too, so our experiences become different over time. I feel like. But yeah, morality, a little bit. I kind of just want to
smooth transition.
You know what, Miles? You want to fight? I will kick your ass.
Do it. I'm coming down there today. I can kick.
You know
I can come kick your ass.
I'll be fucking ready. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna get my coworker, and we're gonna beat the shit out of him.
Just pull up and you just start kicking the shit out of me.
It's like yeah.
Devil all the time.
I was gonna say it. But
yeah. Okay.
Morality. I know how you don't like to bring up the movie too much.
I know.
Yeah. You're just working on the car because it's like broken down for a second. I just come up and just slam the hood.
You're like skirt, and then push the shit.
Oh man.
What the fuck just fell over, dude? What the hell?
It was a jacket, I think. It was my jacket.
Okay.
Anyway, that's not important.
Yeah. It's not. Morality.
But, yeah. So. Moving on from the jacket, which has no morals. How was that for a transition?
Even worse.
You know what, Miles? I love how much of a critic you are of your own podcast.
Yeah, my podcast sucks. So.
You know what, Miles? It's better than the Mac Band Pod.
How?
Right?
No. Okay.
I don't know.
Morality. Let's get into it, please.
Morality. The only morality in a cruel world is chance. unbiased, unprejudiced, fair. You know who said that?
No.
Harvey Dent. In The Dark Knight.
I was gonna say The Dark Knight Rises, or yeah, Dark Knight. Sorry.
The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, we started joking too much. Morality. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of want to talk about this one I kind of wanted to talk about this one a little bit because I mean we've talked about sort of and we've seen each other's, I feel like, morals a little bit, but like, you know, especially just in dealing with daily life in different situations, like it's important to sort of, I feel like, acknowledge and understand our own morals and ethics, you know, and I think it's just an important thing to know because it's like, I don't know, we're constantly changing and we're constantly growing and learning.
Of course.
And I try to learn as much as I can on a regular basis, and I feel like I kind of shift a lot. So I think it's important to remember kind of going back to like just the basics of just like your ideals and your character, especially as us as filmmakers, considering we eventually will be, and kind of, and we do already, but like kind of just sharing our message or messages that we want to share in the future with movies and stuff like that. I just thought it'd be interesting to talk with you a little bit, see what you think your own morals are, and I'll tell you if you're right or not. No, we'll talk with you about what your values are, and kind of go from there, I guess.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Okay. I don't know how to start it, so you're gonna have to.
Okay.
Like in particular, I don't know.
Well, I guess like what. Let's start with like values. Like what are some things that you value, or actually I guess what is one thing, if any, that you value above all else, I guess.
Like in friends or
sure,
just
it could be,
life or
is there one friend you value over everyone else?
No, I meant like what do I value in friends, or I don't know.
Well, just like, well, I guess in your well, actually, in your friends, like what do you value the most? In terms of character.
Out of everything, it'd probably be a tie between like honesty and like comedy, because like I want people to be honest with me, and I want to be able to be honest with them, because I can be brutally honest if I need to be, or if I want to be, essentially, not need to be. But I also think that, you know, comedy, as you and I have shown, that comedy is a huge part of our friendship. And it helps, I think. It helps me, definitely. I feel like I'm definitely getting more out of this because you don't have depression, but I do. And it helps.
Yeah. You're welcome, you parasite.
Yeah, I'm a fucking symbiote, baby.
Symbiote. Yeah, no, it's important to be able to laugh and have a good time, because like otherwise it's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. Comedy's a good thing. And yeah, I'd say honesty is pretty important too. Now, I guess one thing I'd like to ask is, do you think it's okay to ever lie to your friends? And if so, what would be an okay time to do that?
Well, for me, white lies are obviously okay in my book.
Okay.
I don't know about like normal lies. I think it's really circumstantial.
Okay.
But I can't think of a time that would be okay to lie. Yes, I've lied to people. That's okay with me. I think it's kind of part of humanity. If you don't lie, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, what are you doing?
You sick freak.
So I mean, it's circumstantial. Yes, I'll say it's okay, but I mean, not a lot. Like, if you're gonna lie to your friends a lot, then you're probably not gonna be friends for very long.
Right.
I do want to also say that I think respect is also a really important thing for me. I can respect someone, but also hate them. But like I can respect them. Like, you know, So that's another thing that's important to me.
Sure.
It sounds very like old fashioned. Like in my point of view, I think of it as old fashioned to respect someone. But yeah, that's just me.
I feel like that kind of says something about the times today.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I value respect a lot too, honestly. And yeah, especially doing, because I did martial arts for like 6 years before I left in 2018, and that was probably one of the biggest things I learned about is making sure to give everyone the proper respect that I think they deserve.
Of course.
Especially when I'm getting to know people too. Like if I'm meeting new people, you start off with that kind of that polite, respectful view, and then like over time you get to know the person and you can kind of get more comfortable. But at first you gotta, I always like to make sure that I'm trying to be respectful when I don't know the person. But what you laughing about, boy?
I was I recently watched a video of someone. It was an older video, but it was talking about Logan Paul when he went to Japan. And
Yeah.
I always, like, every time someone, I don't know why, but it's so funny when he's like at the beginning of the video, he's like, Japan is all about the respect. And then he goes on to like throw fish at people, and not at people, but would like run around Japan with fish, point out a dead body, be super rude at a temple. I just think it's really funny. It's like, Japan's all about the respect.
And then
It goes off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I fucking love it. I just think it's so funny.
Fucking. Yeah, we could talk about that guy. But no. Yeah, respect is a good one. I'm trying to think if there's any others.
How do you feel about lying then? Because you asked
lying?
me. Yeah, lying to your friends, I guess.
I feel like there's a time and yeah, like it's very circumstantial. I mean, I feel like there could be time or place where it's important to lie sometimes, where like if you're trying to protect them or something,
or protect someone else too.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Then I think that's okay. And I would say it's okay if it's like part of a joke too, or like a surprise. It can be okay too.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like, yeah. If other than that, I mean, I feel like it's a little bit lame, kind of shady.
Yeah,
Lie a lot, especially if it's like, I don't know, if they're like trying to exaggerate something about themselves or make themselves seem more cool. I guess I feel like sometimes that's kind of annoying.
Yeah. I prefer
especially
seeing
if you
the
can see
real
right through
them.
it.
Yeah. And if you're gonna become friends with someone, you want to see the real them.
Exactly.
Because that's important.
Yes.
Would
Organs and all.
you? Yeah. Would you say respect is tied with lying? Like if you don't like that, like lying to someone is disrespectful, or what do you think?
I don't know. I feel like it kind of depends from person to person. Because like, I mean, if they like are trying to lie to you because they simply think they can like, pull one over on you, that sounds gross. But yeah, if they think they can kind of get away with it and they're like almost like mocking you about it, like I feel like that's gonna be disrespectful. But like if it's I don't know, I'm trying to think of like a specific example. But like, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I guess yes and no. The no part of it being like, I don't know. You can. Because you can like, could be like you said, you could be lying to protect someone. Not necessarily lying to the person to just for the sake of lying to them.
Yeah.
But like more so that you're just maybe you have a reason. Yeah, you could have a reason for for lying to them about something.
Yeah.
I'd say. But yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're good.
Late night, early morning.
Yeah. Have you had any experiences like any like standoff experiences, like where like you had to like really exercise your, I guess, your values in any way, shape, or form. Like for example, if you I don't know, maybe had like a or like kind of like that experience you shared last week where with that person, and where he or she sorry, didn't really align with the way you see things, and you kind of were upset by that, like,
Yeah.
but like you called that person out on it. I guess experiences like that you wouldn't mind sharing.
That could be the only recent one I could think of. No, it's funny because that's like never something I've really done before, and I'm glad I did though. Because,
Yeah.
like, again, as you've said before, people change, and I think that I've changed for the better. Probably a more liberal view of things for me. I'm like becoming more and more left leaning, I guess. I don't know if that's good or bad. Don't know. Don't care. But I think that, I've changed a lot, and being able to stand up to people you care about is difficult. Like you and I already talked about it, standing up to someone that you care about is hard. And it wrecked me emotionally that day. It was a very hard day for me. And I'm glad that the next day we could talk about things and figure it out. And, we're all good now, so.
Yeah.
I was actually going to ask you, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Have you, like, lost any friends? Like, just, like, you had a friend for a while and something happened and you guys had a falling out? Or a girl, I guess,
I can't really say I have had too much of a falling out. Mainly because usually it takes a lot for me to be confrontational with someone. Usually,
well, it doesn't even have to be about confrontation. I mean, it could have just been like you guys had an argument.
Yeah, I know. It's like most of the friends that like I can think of where we stopped being friends is mainly just because like in high school, just because we just for one reason or another we just stopped hanging out as much. I feel like it might have just been because either they or I just started hanging out with different people, and just just started hanging out with them more and more, and kind of just lost contact. I don't really feel like there's been anything where I willingly like wanted to stop being friends with them because of like some argument or something. I haven't really had too many experiences with that. If there ever is a difference in like opinion or like even talking about morals and values or whatever, like I mean I feel like it's been the case just with like people that like I've met a little bit but don't really know that much about, you know what I mean? And I feel like the reason for that is because I've gotten to know those friends, and like the other friends that like I know them and I know their morals and ethics a little bit more, so like it wouldn't be as much as of a surprise because I'd already know that about them. But in this case it'll be like people that I've sort of met maybe at like social functions, or people I sort of knew a little bit in like my class or something in high school maybe, and I learned some of this stuff where we disagree on it, and I kind of just know to sort of
not to step over that line
from that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
For me, I've had really only one case I can think of where I had a falling out with a friend when I was let's see, it was fourth grade when we became friends, and then like fifth or sixth grade, we've been hanging out for a while, and I've always had a thing about going over to people's houses. I find it a little bit uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
And that's just like personal issue or
Sure.
preference or whatever, and also with people coming over, and I had always gone over to his house, and so one time The one time that he came over to my house, my apartment, because we never had a house growing up, but not important right now. What was I gonna say? I already forgot.
Oh my goodness, this is gonna be your first house.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
That's cool.
I lived with Connor and her parents in
Oh
their
yeah,
house.
that
So,
is true. You did. Yeah.
but this is like gonna be living in it for probably the same amount of time actually. So,
Yeah.
what was I saying? Jesus Christ.
Weird. Yeah. This friend.
Yeah, this friend. I might have talked about this guy before actually. I think I have.
I think you did. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll mention it again. So he came over to my house, and I think like this might have not been the start of it, but I think this is an example I could think of why I think I have OCD. So we were hanging out in my room. It was like pretty late, I think, at night. So we were just like watching stuff on my computer, or not my computer, it was my mom's computer, but whatever, laptop. And he was like touching my toys, and I was getting mad about it, and he was like messing with them, and I was getting pissed off, and then we argued, I think, and then I think I had to leave the room and was just like so annoyed, and I just kind of like slept on the floor in front of my mom's room, because I was just so pissed off, and then I think he slept in my room, and yeah, that was I think the last time I ever saw him and talked to him.
Until we started this podcast. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
It wasn't me. Guys.
No, it wasn't you. It wasn't you, Henry. Yeah, that was the only time I could think of.
Yeah.
And that was, I talked to someone about this recently, how I think, in my opinion, I think women and men have different types of friendships almost. Maybe. Like, I think for guys, it's just it's very simple. Like, we don't lean on each other too much, almost.
Yeah.
We don't rely on each other for support too much, but I think with women, it's, they rely on each other a lot, and that's a good thing, but it also can become a bad thing when they argue, and it's like a huge falling out.
Yeah.
And that's, that's not good. So, I don't know. What do you think?
Like, the thing is, like,
yeah.
I don't know, guys are able to, I think, be upfront about that a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And it's not every case, but
yeah.
I feel like a lot of the time that's just like they're okay with just getting that out in the open and just being done with it, Mm-hmm. But like with girls, I feel like it can take a little bit longer to really get to what they're actually saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And sometimes that can be a little confusing or cause a little bit of friction. So like. Yeah, I don't know. I just, like you said, I think it's just a little bit different, a different dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah. Interesting. What other things did you want to talk about with morality for the last few minutes that we have? A couple of minutes or whatever.
I guess it's good to talk about it as filmmakers a little bit. 'Cause
mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Oh yeah, we can talk about that. Like, what are some things that you wanna? I mean, I guess it'll be different from story to story.
Mm-hmm.
But like, are there certain things you want to like share with people, like in terms of like your views? And I guess that doesn't have to be about morality either. But
mm-hmm.
like, this I guess things you want to share with people, like as a filmmaker. Like looking at, because you'll have a chance to. Or we will have a chance, when we start making more stuff to be able to mm-hmm. share some of our experiences and thoughts,
point of
and
view,
emotions and feelings. So, is there anything specific you want to kind of show?
I think I want to.
No spoilers.
Spoiler alert! This podcast may contain spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
I think mental illness will be an important thing that I want to.
Yeah.
Not in every single film or short film or whatever, but I think having it be maybe not far from our minds, but something that we don't mind touching on. I think that is what I want to a thing I wanna talk about in terms of filming.
Yeah.
Making films. I think that it's important to not be afraid of these types of controversial, not controversial, but these touchy subjects, I guess, is what I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I think not being afraid to say what I want to say is important. Although
say
I don't.
What you need to say.
Yeah. Although I don't know what I need to say, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know because each project is going to be different. I'm going to look at things differently for each one. So. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. No. And I mean, honestly, I wasn't really expecting anything to be too specific anyway, because it's like. It's just, I think it's just important to consider, and you know this too, but like, just consider like our experiences and like what we're trying to exactly say.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean that does, because we will have, especially if the more and more of a following we get with our stuff, like
mm-hmm.
the more impact we can have on people.
Yeah.
And that was kind of what I was mentioning too earlier with like the, what was it, neurocinematic stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Where we have a chance to like really make people feel an emotion with movies,
mm-hmm.
and I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
because it's like it almost bypasses the fact that like it's an illusion, and like just becomes a chance to sort of reflect on their experiences or what the movie is talking about or whatever, So
mm-hmm.
I just think it's kind of cool to talk about sort of what we value as storytellers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I mean I don't really feel like I'll show that as much as a cinematographer,
mm-hmm.
like camera guy.
Yeah.
But if I, we sort of write stuff together, and I feel like if I do branch into writing, which I might a little bit,
mm-hmm.
at least at some point.
Yeah, because I need help writing. I can't write on my own. It's hard.
I'm good at like formatting, but like or arcs, like I'm not quite as competent yet.
Mm-hmm.
I usually have to talk to like a buddy of mine from like film school. I'm like, does this look good? He's like, yeah, but like this could be different, interesting.
I would say that maybe like you almost with values and morality. I think that it can. I mean, you're right. Okay, so like when you're writing or you're filming something, you're doing it from your point of view already. So I don't know if you have to really think about it too much, because I think the more you think about it, the more you're going to be worried. I would say the less you think about it, the more in tune it's going to be with your morals anyway, right?
That's true. Because it's like when you're like editing something, or like
mm-hmm.
even just being on a project from start to finish. Like if you're writing it and then directing and like editing,
mm-hmm.
like you've seen that story, you've been with that story.
Yeah,
for
you've
a long
put
time,
in everything.
You lose that like initial, I guess, feeling that you had like when you started.
Yeah.
Or like or I guess like you become almost a little desensitized to it because
mm-hmm.
you've known it so long. So
yeah, and so like when someone else views it, they're looking at it with their eyes and not through your eyes. So it's like,
well,
they're going to see
becomes
things
like a conversation.
Yeah.
Between like you and the person in a way,
mm-hmm.
which I think is kind of cool. Because like that's like what my point is, like what I would want to do, like as a filmmaker, is be able to not even just get the point across, but allow them to start thinking about what we talked about, or like what the movie is presenting.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if that is the case, then that means I've done my job well.
Yeah,
I feel like so. Yeah.
Okay. I
feel like it'd be fun to make a movie though where the characters have no morals though. At one point.
What would that even look like?
I don't know. I mean, it'd be kind of chaotic probably. I'd have to think about it and get back to you. But like, it's like, well, because it's like, if you think about it, it's like one thing we talked about in screenwriting class was like, if a character does, for example, does really like virtuous things, for example,
mm-hmm.
and it works out for them in the end, maybe that kind of like symbolizes that, like you mean like that you think that is good, if someone does something really terrible, and
you think that's bad,
or vice versa, or whatever, and they, something bad happens to them, you think it's bad, inherently
mm-hmm.
a bad trait, right? So like, if they're like absolutely shifty and have no morals, and it works out for them in the end,
mm-hmm.
it's like, I don't know.
That'd be really interesting, actually. Yeah,
it could be kind of just like a a master bullshitter. Just bullshits his way through everything and it works out somehow.
That'd be good, actually.
Could be kind of funny.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I've had some pretty crazy ideas recently for short films and stuff. So, I can't wait to move down there. We're gonna film stuff. We're gonna be doing a bunch of stuff. Hopefully, because you're a busy man. I know you're a big shot movie producer. I get it.
I think you're a big strong man.
You're a big strong man. You're about to fuck me, and it's really hard to deal with it. I know. Yeah, I'm so glad we went
I'm
back
just
into
busy
jokes.
through next week.
Yeah.
And then I'm good.
Oh, sure.
or this week, actually, I should say.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's good for this after show episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Thanks for listening.
Yep.
If you enjoyed listening, give a thumbs up or something. I don't know.
Give us a shout.
Give us a shout. Yell.
Call us.
Okay, you're listening to the podcast right now, and you got to shout right now.
Scream.
We'll hear
shout
it
and let it all out.
Yeah. And if you want us to talk about issues, hear our point of view, put it somewhere. I don't know. Put it in the message boards. Put it in the forum.
And if you want us to talk about tissues, we can do that too.
Okay,
I'm cutting.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Thanks, you fucking bitches. Wait, that was an appropriate ending to the serious episode. Oh, shit. I'm gonna get murdered by the podcast police.
Oh, shit.